Welcome to the show. Christian dating, understanding the disposition of women while dating. Stay close.
If there's something on your mind, let's talk about it.
It's showtime! Welcome to the Let's Talk Show. I'm your host, Pastor Shay. Stay close. Single, saved, and free.
Balance is the adjustment between two opposing forces. But there are some spiritual bipolar people.
My church, my city, the Trinity's like my steering committee.
You will never overcome rejection until you embrace no.
Same sanctified ones that said, crucify her. She deserves to be in jail.
I always say faith will never make sense and sense will never make faith.
Something on your mind.
Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning into our today's program. Listen, guys, on Facebook, go ahead and do me a favor and go ahead and share the show with all your friends and your followers. Let somebody know we're talking about Christian dating. As a matter of fact, tag every brother you know, because we're about to help the brothers understand understand women on today's show. And I'm so excited. We've been doing a series of shows. We started at the beginning of February, and we've gotten tremendous feedback about Christian dating, talking about the boundaries, talking about the do's and the don'ts. People are learning that they've been dating wrong, and they're making the adjustment. Well, brothers, we want to help you understand us. Understand how it is we date. To help me with this topic, let me tell you, I'm so excited. We have a panel of 3 powerful women of God on the set today in the hot seat, and I'm going to grill them. I'm going to milk them. Oh, yeah, we're going to pull knowledge out of them. They're going to help you guys successfully date. Amen. And so I want to welcome to the show, starting from the far left, Pastor Cassandra Merritt, amen, who's also a counselor, mental health therapist, Start Fresh Counseling. Welcome to the show. I also want to welcome Pastor Joy Brockton from Genesis Worship Center. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And finally, Lady Lisa Jones from the Center for Manifestation. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Ladies, are you ready?
We're ready. Let's
Oh,
go.
wow. Let's do this. Let's do this. Everybody good? Everybody comfortable?
Yeah.
Amen. You guys were a little nervous before we came on the show today, but you guys ready now?
Good.
Almost.
We said a little prayer and we ready to go, right?
Yes.
Listen, guys. So we're going to be talking about understanding the disposition of women while dating, and so we just want to have this dialogue, and we just want to be transparent and really help the brothers out. You know, some of them dating some crazy women, maybe we don't know, and so we want to just help them to understand our mannerisms, our behaviors. And so I'll begin first question. And this is, by the way, guys, this has been a question that's been so controversial across all of the shows I've done. And so I want to ask it again. Do women really have a list when deciding who to date?
I think they do. I think women have an unspoken expectation. We look at men and we figure out, okay, if he's working, if he's, Christ-centered, and all these things. But then I think what happens with our list, we know that it's unrealistic, and then we get frustrated with the list that we create.
Is that now, does the frustration go away because of age? Or the older we get, we just realize that those things it's not that much important anymore?
I think it becomes less important because of desperation. I see a lot of women who create a list when they're in their place of confidence, when the momentum is going, but then after years fade away, they begin to, okay, that doesn't matter. That doesn't. And then they begin to settle, and then they become frustrated because they feel like desperation put their guards down.
Pastor Joy?
Yes, they do have a list. I had a small list. Had to be working, had to be cute, had to smell good. Had to have a car.
No bicycle.
No, just had to have a vehicle. But I do know many women who have a list, and they will pull out that list. And I've had some women add to their list and reduce their list, depending on where they are in their life. I think by the age of 25, and if you're not, as they say, boot up, they pull out that list and say, okay, maybe I don't need this, or maybe I don't need that. And they start to take off certain things off of their list.
Okay.
And some may say, oh, you're compromising. Others may say, well, you're not being as vain as, you used to be, or you're becoming mature.
Right.
And the things that you needed 3-4 years ago, or that you felt that a man needed to be, you've seen different, and your idea of relationship or husband or a man is evolving and changing.
Awesome.
So.
Awesome. Cassandra.
Yes, I think women have lists.
Many?
Many. However, I think I had a mental list. I didn't have a written list, but I did have a mental list. And in my mental list, he did need a job, a real one. And he needed that. And then I was so stuck on him knowing the word.
Yes.
I don't know what that all came from, because I wasn't raised in the church, but I was stuck on that too.
Oh, wow. So they do have a list. Listen, the show I did last week, I asked the same question, do men have a list? And the answer was yes. And they had one thing on their list. Yeah. And that one thing is respect.
Yes.
And so I want to talk about this listing a little bit more, because I had the opportunity to hear this question answered from a male perspective. And the answer was women have a list too. Men list is respect, and women list is that they never lose their value.
That's right.
Of who they are. Let's talk about that, maintaining your value. Because in other words, you don't want to just date anybody, right? We don't lower our standards just to date anybody. Right. So talk to me about standard and value. Man has a list, it's respect. Woman has a list, it's called maintaining your value. Anyway, Lisa, let's go start it. Value, that's important.
One of the things that I've looked at over the years when dealing with women and talking to them and their frustrations while dating is the mere fact that the guy presented one thing, and it was probably something on their list, but then they end up heartbroken, at the end, because it was on the list, but it was still something there that was not being met. And I think a lot of times we as women can be superficial, with a lot of things. Yes. And when we're superficial, we're not really searching or allowing ourselves to be searched for based on a value-based relationship. Good. It's more out of the superficial thing. And, growing up, we hear, a piece of man is better than no man at all.
We cancel that in the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus, cut it down.
Yes.
And I really think deep down inside of some women, even there's some women that's extremely confident, extremely successful, but they question themselves, and they do question their value because, okay, I'm almost this age. I'm almost this age. I'm work. I have a nice shape. I can provide for myself. I don't have any kids. I feel like I'm sound. I feel like I'm a little more mature than I was last year. And then you see, this guy who you're in your heart, like, he may be the one. Go off with somebody that don't even have half of the things that you have. And then you start questioning yourself. It's like, what is my true value? Am I really, marriage material? And then they become secretly frustrated because they feel like they're being overlooked for a less desirable physical option, right. And, going back to that place where men desire respect. One of the things my husband always say, these women, they work on the outside, but they don't work on the inside.
Absolutely.
But then it contradicts because you got to keep yourself up. So I think there's a lot of contradiction that's going on. And in that contradiction, there's no absolutes.
That's good. Pastor Joy?
It depends on the definition of value and what that means to a young woman. Value for me had to be defined. I didn't have very good examples,
point of references,
right,
yes,
of
gotcha.
Women who valued themselves,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So my point of reference was totally in a different vein,
Gotcha.
But when dealing with value and respect, I hear my husband always often say, when he references to me, my wife respects me. So it's true. That does mean a lot. And I say the same, my husband values me.
Oh, wow.
So It's
Wow,
very
nice.
important. Values
Yes.
my opinion, values my work,
That's good.
values my advice. So, but values change. So, for instance, a young woman has her list or whatever she has. We have to, as women, have to teach the younger women, the single women,
Yes.
how to compromise within reason.
That's good.
And
That's
that
good.
there's nothing wrong with acquiescing to change.
Yes.
And saying,
yes.
you know what, this may not be as important. He may not work at a Fortune 500 company, but he has a good job.
Right.
He's a hard worker. And I, as a woman, teach other women, can you see the future? Can you see the value? Can you see his propensity to be successful if he had a great woman
now, that's
supporting
good.
him,
Yes.
pushing him in the back?
Yes.
He doesn't have to have it right now because you don't have what you think you have either.
Exactly.
So I think that there's a false perception that falls on women that we've arrived. I have the bank account, I have the job, I have the list, I have my own, I could take care of myself. If you could, you wouldn't be desiring a man.
That's good. That's good.
So that's my thing, is just I've helped women to identify deal breakers.
That's good. That's good. I went home. It's weird. I went home for the holidays, and it's like every conversation I sat in, it's like people just begin to counsel me as if I was married. Marriage must be on the way.
Yes, God.
But one of the things he said, one of the things the pastor said to me, he said, do you know, he said for marriage to work, and the couple that was talking to me being married for over 53 years. And he said to me, what made their marriage work was the ability to compromise.
That's right.
That's the big word. And that was the undertone of every conversation I had while I was home. You got to learn to compromise.
That's right.
That we don't really have it all. You know, we learn to compromise.
Yes.
From a therapist perspective, you talk to a lot of women. How do women see themselves when it comes to value?
Well, it depends. It depends on how they were raised
True.
or the
Right.
environment
Yes.
that they actually got cultivated in to understand their worth or their value as a lady. Sometimes I've encountered women who think, well, I need to go ahead and sleep with him to prove that I can
good.
be married to
That's
him.
good.
And that's a lack of self-worth. You know,
Right.
you've devalued yourself to say, okay, I need to do this
That's
in
right.
order for him to value me. But what happens if he is the one, what happens is that respect has already been devalued in
Yes.
his view, because you now lost that when you lowered your standards and said your value was not there. I'll give you what you want without the sacrifice of him even being privileged in your sight, period. I mean, in your presence.
That's some good
men,
stuff.
men don't just get the right to come and sit at my feet or sit in my presence.
You
They
better
have
tell
to.
them.
They need to value that.
That's
they need
good.
to know that I have a standard about myself, and you're
I
not going
can't
to
wait
come
for this.
and, decide what my standard is going to be.
Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
No, along the lines with what Cassandra just said, and it's so true, we see a lot of women who, they can be very aggressive.
Yes.
Yes.
And the man have a Christ center. I see a lot of women who are aggressive, and the man have their Christ center. And I tell women all the time, if sex actually comes up in the conversation before anything, that's a red flag. No man should ask you, so are you having sex, or how long have you been celibate? That should not be a question of discussion, because a man that knows the worth of a woman or knows what God intends for a woman,
on.
that would never come up in the conversation. So I tell women all the time that if a conversation come up with sex, they're now trying to see where you're open. And I tell women too,
Wow.
don't go in
Wow.
the first day, I'm celibate, I'm
Teach.
celibate.
Teach.
Because what you're telling the man is, at the right opportunity, I may get desperate and fall.
Wow.
And I may become unguarded.
That's
So you
good.
never have to tell a man of God that you're celibate, because he's going to see the virtue in you. You never have to ask a woman of God, so how long has it been? Because I think that blurs the line.
Yes.
Because now, like Cassandra said, okay, let's test this to see. And we're not talking about
Right.
women, secular women or women of
Right.
the world. We're talking about women
Christian
in
women.
the church.
Yes.
What if I get married and the sex is not good, and then I'm going to get frustrated, or these things you're putting the cart before the horse.
Yes.
And because of where, like you said, on how we've been raised, how we've been programmed by past experiences, then we now start looking, the red flag now goes away. And anytime, sex comes in, it totally makes you lose discernment. Because now you're open for anything, because that guilt and that shame, oh my gosh, I just slept with the brother on the third pew, and now you're feeling obligated. You're feeling obligated to continue a relationship that it's not gonna even go any further than the fifth pew.
Wow.
And so
not make it to the altar.
No. And to piggyback off what Lady Jones said, it's funny how women want to say, I'm valuable, I got values, I have standard. Everything that has had a value assessed has to be appraised.
Yes.
There has to be an appraisal that takes place to determine the worth and the value of a thing. If it's precious, a precious gem, if it's a one of a kind, someone has to say, let me appraise this to see if there's any dollar amount, any value that can compare. When you jump out the gate saying, oh, I'm this, I'm that, you have not given him the opportunity to value you. To respect being in your presence, to value even your voice, even when when you call him, to have his heart flutter because she's on the line. We want to, I'm just going to be about it. I'm about the Father's business. No, even God reveals himself.
Exactly.
That's some good stuff.
We just want to expose ourselves and be like,
we're coming to that, Pastor. We're coming to that. But before we get into that level of detail, I want to continue this line of question, because I want to go to another point, and I want us to be very transparent. Should a female be dating that is broken, that have internal issues, that's dealing with stuff from their past? They haven't resolved some stuff they've gone through. Let's talk about that, because we have a lot of women that go into these relationships, right? And maybe the guy that they dated last time was crazy, right? And he did some crazy stuff to her. And so now she hasn't really healed. She hasn't really been delivered. She's jumping into the next relationship, and now she's carrying over baggage. And so now poor brother John, he's a good guy, good church guy. Like, man, what in the world just happened to this girl I'm trying to date? Now, he really likes her, but he doesn't know how to deal with that. So let's talk about that. How do we address that? Should they be dating?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Elaborate, Pastor Joy, a little bit more.
I don't think they should be dating. And I tell the women at my ministry all the time, sit down, get healed. The thing is that we don't trust the people that God has placed around us enough to understand and to be able to say, I need to be repaired. I'm broken.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm. Anything that's broken cannot be used in its full capacity.
Come on.
You have to be repaired.
Yes.
You are not presenting the best you when you're broken.
That's
but
good.
You want him to value you.
Yeah.
But you brought everything else with you. What that last man did to you, what he didn't do to you, what you allow him to do to you. Okay? So all of this is on that man, and you're asking him, oh, well, you need to just learn me, or you need to just figure. He can't.
He can't.
You're dealing with many things. Different spirits are popping out.
Yes.
We're not even sure who we're talking about. You're walking around here like
trying to say she bite.
And he's like, well, yesterday you was good. And I just said hello. But it's the way you said it reminded me of what Johnny used to do.
Come on,
well, who is Johnny?
Yeah. Johnny left.
And now you've held him accountable for something that you should have dealt with before you even engaged in a relationship. But now you have made it his responsibility. He is trying to search for how to take care of and cater to you, because he don't want this to fail. He knows what God said about you. You could be the one, but believe it, with every 7, there's more. You got to make sure that you are dateable.
That's good.
It's not a game, but you have to be coy. You have to be soft. If I was as strong as I am now, busting out the gate with Pastor Broughton, I would be Joy Beckford.
You'd be single.
I would be single. There was a level where that stick-to-itness was appropriate. That's when I had to address it. But I'm not coming out the gate like Muhammad Ali. It's not necessary.
Right.
Nobody, no man I know want to date a man.
That's true. That's true. It's really
Women have a, you know.
Cassandra, from a therapist perspective,
I'm just saying.
nobody want to date Muhammad Ali.
No.
Tell Ella, stop laughing at us. But there's another side to this too. There's also
Yes.
so you're right. So there's the brute the women that are being hurt, and so now they build a demeanor to protect themselves. But then you also have women who may have been hurt that may not be so forceful up front, but they hide it, they internalize
Yes.
it.
Passive aggressive.
Exactly, that passive aggressive type behavior. Talk about that. How do we begin to address that?
Well, first I want to, Pastor Broughton said something that was so good, and she was just talking about sitting down and being healed. I think we as women, sometimes when we're in that place, we're unemotionally stable.
Yes.
We're just not emotionally able to handle the weight of dating.
Yes.
Right.
And so what happens is she said it so good. There's that process to that healing. But if that mind really does not become changed, whether it's from a therapeutic standpoint or from a biblical standpoint, you are doomed for failure in any relationship. There's no cultivating something that's not solid.
Say that.
Right. That's right.
Because it won't be a foundation. And so I think that women need to allow themselves to heal, but also deal with the hurt where you're able to articulate exactly what the hurt is stemming from, and
That's right.
not a perception that, oh, Johnny broke my heart. No, what's wrong with you?
That's
Who
right.
wounded you from early on that caused your heart
That's
to even
right.
be broken, that it
Yes,
remained
yes,
broken?
Yes. Wow.
So I believe that it's all right to go and seek counsel, whether you take biblical counseling or whether you come from a therapeutic standpoint. And I don't mean anybody, because the scripture already warned us that, it's not always good to go to the unbeliever for counsel.
Right.
But in the multitude of counselors,
There's
there
safety.
is safety.
Yes, there is.
And there's wisdom. So I do believe it's nothing wrong with sitting down, pulling back, and unveiling yourself to say, I am emotionally unstable. I'm going to snap on him, and I am going to fight him, or I'm going to curse him out, and I'm going to lose that destined thing that God has set for me.
Wow.
And so we're begging and pleading with God to send that right one, and sometimes the right one come before us, but because we're so emotionally unstable,
We miss them.
we can't see it.
Wow. That's powerful. You want to add something? Go ahead, Lisa. Go ahead.
Now, that ties into something we talked about earlier, the list.
Right.
Yes.
That checklist. Because like Cassandra just said, if we're unstable, then we vacillate and we don't even believe what we believe. And so, as she said, getting that place where we're solid, and not saying that, okay, it's gonna, just drag on. Cause some people wallow in their breakup so long till they don't even realize they need healing. And then they get into rebound relationships with their guards down, not saying that they wanted this relationship because this guy is nothing on the list, but because I can prove to Johnny, oh, you left me, somebody want me. And so you find yourself in a rebound relationship and you're vulnerable.
Exactly.
And so again, going back to that place where healing is necessary, and what she said, even from a counselor's point of view, where did this really come from?
Right, the root of
Was
it.
this really Johnny, or was this 10 Johnnies ago?
Tender. Wow. Yes.
But it's so familiar. We get the resurgence of things and the triggers that's coming up. And then now it's everybody's fault, while we are not using wisdom to say, you know what, let me just sit and let God heal
me.
this place.
Wow. I think that's important. You wanted to add a point to that?
Or rather than whether this was Johnny or something, was this daddy?
That's it.
Yeah, that's right. Oh,
Was
I'm coming.
this mama?
Oh, we coming. We're coming some point of references.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because sometimes our example of a man is a man that was running in and out of our lives
True.
for most of our childhood and adulthood, or the times that we needed it. So there's a spirit of abandonment that has fell in and walked in.
Wow.
So every man we get, we try to manipulate, right? We try to clingy. We become clingy. We become annoying. We become nagging. We become, you know, in these things to where he's like, whoa,
Let's pull back.
we just started, you know, and now you're making him your man where y'all just friends.
Supposed to be dating.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, in the last show, I mean, Apostle, I did the show Understanding Men with Apostle Mark T. Jones, and he made such an important point. He said dating is observation, not absorption.
Yes.
So in other words, at any point in dating, I should be able to separate
That's right.
without an emotional attachment.
right.
And I'm like, I've never heard that.
That's right.
Because as women, when we date, let's talk about that. When we date, we put our emotions in,
They're
right? You guys would
emotional,
agree?
They're relational.
Yeah, and so when it's time to break up, our heart is broken. We down for months. We can't get up because, you know, Johnny left. And so, poor Johnny. We using Johnny today.
Sorry, Johnny.
Sorry, Johnny. But yeah, he said that, and that thing, I'm like, man, so many women, we don't date like that. So let's talk about this whole attraction thing, right? Let's talk about this attraction thing. And so when a woman sees a guy she likes, what happens from your perspective? Lady Lisa, go ahead. Tell us what happened.
I personally think when a woman sees a guy that she's physically attracted to, it sends the body into euphoria.
Okay.
You know, but the thing of it is, if you're not in your right mind, you are misinterpreting that euphoria. Okay?
Wow, yes.
You know, and they say the pheromones, women release pheromones, and it's that chemical, that chemistry that's there. But it goes deeper than chemistry because like Pastor Joy just said, you know, he may be the one, but if you're all fragmented all over the place, is he gonna be like, okay, look, I'm gonna pull back. So I personally feel that at this moment, you know, when a woman is fragmented and the body chemistry and, you know, the physical attraction is there, I don't think that she's getting a true understanding of what's going on in the moment.
Mixed messages
It's
is
mixed
happening.
messages.
I got you.
Okay, it's a mixed message because, you know, oh, he's nice looking or he's well put together. He smells nice. He greeted me well. He had a pleasant conversation.
Got good teeth.
He's got good teeth. You know? as we say, that brother is fine. That is good clay right there. But I think what happens is this. When there's a void there, we misinterpret the purpose of him coming in our life. Is he just a brother that's supposed to be just coming in to just help me with something? Or am I trying to make him my sex mate, soulmate, you know, covenant, you know? And so we have to understand, why are these men coming into our lives? Are they on assignment to help us understand overall, you know, what a man has to carry? But I think what happens, like you said, we become so vulnerable and so involved. Oh my gosh, he's the one. He's everything on my list and da-da-da-da. And I just felt something.
Ooh, I know it. No. Well, really,
I had 10 dreams. I had 10 dreams about him.
But wait. So let's say, okay, let's shift a little bit away from the broken woman, right? Let's say this woman she's evolved. She's gotten healed. She maybe never been in a broken relationship. So she's okay. Let's do it okay. What goes through her thoughts when she meets somebody she likes, Pastor Joy? So this is not a broken woman. This isn't a woman who needs to sit down. She's come through process.
The thing is, does he like you? You know, you can like someone and become attracted to him, as Pastor Lisa said, or
But mentally, what's going on?
mentally, everything.
Tell me,
Everything.
example.
He is fine. He is cute.
Do we ever think marriage?
If he get close, not yet.
No.
And see, the thing is, when I saw Pastor Braun, I didn't go right to marriage, and neither did I go right to sex. See, you have to make sure that your mind is in the right place. And you have to say, okay, Joy, what was the first thing you thought when you saw him? Did you say, like, God, is that lust? What is that? What is it? You got to get it together. How do you separate that? How do you say, okay, flesh, come on.
That's good.
Because flesh, I'm a woman. Flesh, Shamar Moore comes on the TV. Flesh will rise, and I get back down, flesh. But, you know, and you have to put it into perspective. Because listen, the door can be cracked, but you better close that door shut. You better close it quick as soon as it comes.
Yeah.
So we are by nature sexual beings.
Right.
This is how the makeup is. When we see a man and we're eligible, okay, eligible were like, this might be my moment. Because listen, if you're laying in wait and you've been praying, and I've been asking God to send me a mate, I don't know about anybody else, I'm going to be looking for my promise. I'm not going to be like, oh, you caught me off guard. No, I've been praying for this. I've been waiting.
Yeah.
I've been waiting. I done got healed. I sat down like they told me to. I sat at their feet. I got repaired. It's my time.
Yes.
That's right.
So I'm waiting, especially because I believe that God is speaking to that
He
woman
is.
at the same
Come
time.
on, he
He's
does.
saying, listen, get ready, right? Make up your bed when you get up in the morning. See, people don't understand.
See,
Before I got
things.
married to Pastor Broughton, he was like, okay, Joy, go make up your bed. It's just me. No, go make it up. Make up your bed. Don't go to bed in that raggedy t-shirt. Go to bed in some nice pajamas. You are being prepared.
That's right.
Because the veil is about to be lifted.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
The veil is about to be lifted so that somebody can see you.
Wow.
Because there's a period of time, I believe, that God masks. He protects those women. He says, nope, not right now. But then all of a sudden, you're on Facebook taking a selfie. Somebody in your scroll said, oh, I see you. I had someone say, what you see? I said, girl, if you don't see it, I said, I'll tell you what you see. I'm going to help you.
Listen, guys.
I'm going to help you. You've been waiting.
Hey, guys, stay close. We'll be right back. Do you have a business idea that you're struggling to get started? I've designed a program that will take your business idea from inception to ready to launch in just 6 weeks. The PEM program is a state-of-the-art program that will not only help you navigate through the steps to get your business started, but will equip you with the tools you need to stay relevant in your industry. So if you are ready to take your business idea to the next level, contact us today. Welcome back to the show, guys. Thank you. If you're just tuning in with us today, we've been dealing with the topic a woman's disposition while dating, and I've been having an amazing dialogue with three awesome women of God who have been doing an amazing job helping me come through this. And just before the break, we were talking about this whole concept of what mentally goes on in the mind of a woman when she sees a man that she's attracted to. And so we sort of ended, amen, with Pastor Joy just letting us have it, amen. From a Cassandra, from a therapist perspective, what goes on in the mind of women when they see a man that they're attracted to? What do they do next? That's what I want to know.
Well, from a therapeutic standpoint, all of those things, they think he's fine. Oh, he's handsome.
What do they do, though? What do they do?
What do you mean, what do they do? Well, depending on
what do they do?
Depending on how aggressive they are, some make their way towards that direction because you're almost trying to be visual. I need you to see that I'm the one. You look good to me and real right. So let's, right.
Right.
He's ready. Like he's, it's good.
Yes. But it appears.
But that aggressive, I use the word aggressive, and I don't mean like overbearing woman, but that woman who's aggressive about believing that I'm next in line. I am potential. They will go in that presence and just carry on conversation because it's almost like you trying that spirit by the spirit to see if this is a good one. Is there a possibility? Maybe they didn't do it. I did it. And so I would go in the presence and talk, kindle conversation to even see if this is something that it could be for me or not for me. Yeah. Some do that.
Is anything wrong with a woman making the initial approach towards a man?
It all depends on her spirit.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's right.
All right.
Because some women, they are aggressive by nature, and there's nothing.
So they come over, they bring the number and everything, and say, "Let's go."
Yeah, but then there has to be a balance because, like you said, what if you may see this man and you don't know him?
Right.
He's fine, chemistry just went off, but he's with someone,
Right.
or he is
Quick, too.
totally not interested. Or he's married, or something's going on with him. Right. So now this physical attraction has to be put on hold to now see what's going on with him.
Right.
Because there's a lot of men that are packaged in adult bodies, but they still have that little boy complex. So now, he look good, he smell good, he sound good, But right now, you got to take him all the way back to K through 12 to get him to be good. And so I've seen that, you know, they have jobs. I've seen, you know, nice looking men with jobs. Nice looking men smell good, but they still have that little boy syndrome. So now, do you want to raise this man? You know, so you're aggressive in what direction?
in what direction?
You know, you're being aggressive. And then I've seen some women, you know, because I remember I used to be like, I can get whoever I want to get. But it was in the wrong spirit. But there's some women still think, I ain't ugly. I can get whoever I want to get. And then it becomes a game.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's a pursuit. And then it's like, okay, wait a minute. It wasn't supposed to go this far.
Right.
And I think a lot of times when when it becomes a game, then when we get hurt by the rules of the game, then we're heartbroken.
Yes, we love flirting.
Yeah. And so, yeah, there's nothing wrong with admiring,
Right.
you know, someone and saying, "Oh wow, he's very cordial." But what is this supposed to really be
Right.
about?
Joy, do we flirt?
Yes.
How?
Oh, some people don't know how to. They're just awkward. They're really awkward with it.
Like how? Like give me some bad ways to flirt. Then.
Well,
Bad
I'm a master flirt.
All right. You got summa cum laude flirt. Okay,
yes.
summa cum laude.
It's the thing about it. The best attribute. Let's talk about the best.
Okay.
Is confidence.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Women have to get this. Men do not want to have to pump you up. Oh, you're beautiful. To know that you are and still not be vain. To know that you're smart and not be overbearing.
Right.
To walk in a room knowing that you have the attention of everyone in the room, whether they should be or not.
Right.
It's attractive enough.
That's right.
Good.
Or when you're flirting and not even looking at the person,
Right.
but
That's
the
so-
person
Ooh,
knows your
what
presence
you
is
say?
there.
What you
Better ask Pastor Broughton.
I was like, you better ask.
He knows I'm there by my presence.
Yes, that's good.
And that's the thing about Christian women. If God
good
has a
stuff.
fragrance,
Come on now.
We ought to
we
give.
also give
I
God
know.
a fragrance.
Woo! Flirting without noticing.
Right.
That's
You
good.
have to
That
flirt. Some
is.
people try
Right.
too hard, awkward, looking. You don't even have to look at them.
Don't make eye contact.
No, that is confidence. Confidence is it.
So we
That's
have
the
two
thing.
things on our list. We have value and confidence.
Confidence.
Boy, we building this list today.
Confidence.
We're
You
building this
have
list.
to be sure and be confident in who you are
Yes.
as a woman. That brings value.
It is.
I don't need you to define who I am. I came to compliment you. I'm your helpmate.
That's good.
I am here to help you.
I often say you can't help what you need.
No,
Yes.
I'm complimenting you. I'm
Yes.
like, people say, oh, I'm an accessory. When I'm with you, either we're accessory together in the crime, we're accessorizing, whatever we're doing, we're in it together. And see, that's a partnership.
Wow.
And see, and I'm sure we're going to get into this, our definition of the role of a man and the role of a woman
in those relationships.
in those
Oh,
relationships.
we're coming right there, right now. Good
Yeah.
segue, because you know one of the complaints I often hear is, man, I'm dating this girl and she needs something from me, and we're digressing now, or a segue into communication, how it is we communicate, and I'm just trying to figure out what she wants me to do, but she just keep taking me around the mountain or the alley just to get to the one point. Let's talk about how it is we communicate. Women, how do women communicate? Just communicate. I want to come to conflict in a minute, but just how we communicate. If a guy wants to know how women communicate, what would you say to them? He said, man, I'm dating this girl. I just asked one question and she give me like a dissertation, and I just want to know one answer. How we communicate.
I mean, just precise. Let your yays be yay and your no's be no, and you have to understand.
But no, how we communicate now, not how we should.
How we should communicate. I think a lot of times we play the mind games.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, because if he knows, if God has put him in me in his spirit, then he should know. And men are not mind readers. You know,
That's
they're
right,
not
that's
gonna
right.
sit there. If it's complicated going in, a man is gonna pull out because they don't even read directions on a box. Like, you know, if they're not gonna take the time to put the directions, they're gonna just put it together.
Yeah.
You know, and
That's
it's
good.
you know, if he
Yeah.
have to read the directions to deal with you, 9 times out of 10, he's gonna say complicated. you know, and so
he's gonna run.
he's gonna pull back, and you may have every intentions to be careful not to say something, and you're processing it, but now he's like, she's trying to be too safe. And I think sometimes in dating, you know, and presenting yourself, you have to be a risk taker, but not where it's one of these kamikaze missions. Okay, and like she said about flirting, that's a form of communication.
It is.
Yes.
You know, either it's a nonverbal communication, and you can say a lot without saying a word. And a man picks up a lot from your essence, like you said, that your spirit, your essence of who you are, just by not saying your body language. If you're sitting here like this, a man is going to know you're not confident within yourself.
Right,
For an example, some years ago, I was walking through the mall, and I was processing something. I had my head down, and this man, he came up. He said, "Shorty," which I hate being addressed by Shorty. He's like, "Shorty, you know, lift your head up." And I had never noticed it. But you don't even know me, and you already figure if she's walking with her head down, she's not going anywhere. And I was like in the middle of dealing with something, so it wasn't really that I didn't have a sense of direction for life. But those are the things when people see you, like you say, you stand out in the crowd. Like, okay, wow. And so I was like, oh, and I called my husband. I said, this man just told me to hold my head up and blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, men see something that we don't see within ourselves. And like she said, a lot of it is confidence, communication. They do not want to have complicated conversations.
They can't handle it.
Yeah, they can't handle it. They really can't. And there's a difference also with women. Sometimes they go in trying to be too much of a detective and not a discerner.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And so when you discern something, you don't have to probe and dig and everything, because it's going to reveal itself for what it is. You know, and men don't men do not like too many questions at one time.
Right.
Because they can't process it all at one time.
Like we can.
Like we can. Yeah, we can answer 3 questions from one man at one time. And, you know, but I think conversation has to be simple, but direct.
Right. How do we, Pastor Joy, because we're emotionally built. That is our makeup. We can't take that away from us. And oftentimes as women, we do communicate with a lot of emotions behind that. There's a lot of, how do we now, because I think sometimes, you know, you will hear the other side say, oh, they're just too emotional. But that's who we are. So what is really being, is there such a thing as being too emotional when it comes to communicating as women?
Yes.
Go ahead. Explain.
You know, some people have a standing joke with me, oh, she's like a man. Because I've learned how to compartmentalize.
That's what men do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and my husband would say, golly, I said, I sometimes detach myself from that thing because I could see. And it's probably the prophetic too, because you see it coming and you kind of say, let me get ready for it, you know,
That's good.
whatever. But yes, we are too emotional, and sometimes we have too much drama going, all the hands and this and this. Well, what are you saying? You're saying all of these words, but you have not yet said what you wanted him to do or how you wanted him to treat you. So what I end up doing, because this was my issue, I would become very emotional, being Black, Hispanic at the same time. You know, don't know Spanish, but know Spanish enough. Know Spanish enough to just be hot-headed and everywhere. And he's like, I just asked her about hair. What happened? The thing is, I had to stop and take responsibility for my own emotions first.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
I can't make him feel some type of way because I'm having a bad day. I don't even like the way I look right now. And because he's asking me about something, I already had an attitude that he didn't know about. And this is what he's getting.
Right.
Okay? And in other words, so I had to learn how to speak to my mate. What is his love language?
That's it.
Right.
My husband is service. So I could say all day, I'm going to do something, but unless I do it, he doesn't feel that. Me, I am gifts and conversing. So it's just different. So what I do, and I have learned how to say what I mean and mean what I say. I do not take responsibility for how you take and interpret what I'm saying.
That's good.
That is not my responsibility.
That's
right.
It is my responsibility to communicate with you how I feel, what I'm feeling, and why I'm feeling it. How you take that, that has nothing to do with me.
Right.
So
Doing it in such a way that takes all the drama out of it, though.
That's
all
right.
the theatrics out of
And
it.
some men want the emotions because they're, oh, that was a little bit too hard, too harsh. Well, you need to figure out what you need and how you want to do that, because this is who I am now.
That's right.
I've come to this place in myself to where I just say it. And I say it without ill intention. I say it with love. I don't say it to break you, to harm you, to attack you, to make you feel less than a man, because you have to be careful because they want to be respected.
Yes,
That's
right.
right.
So you let them know that, listen, me saying what I'm saying is not to devalue you, disrespect you, but it's to make sure that you understand what I'm thinking, and I'm not playing any games with you. This it is what it is. And I promise you that what I'm saying is true.
True.
And when I walk away from this situation, I'm not going to be like, I guess I threw him off, or, it's going to be, it is what it is.
True. Cassandra, when I talk to you from a therapist perspective, listen, yeah. But, okay, so let me spin it. So, Pastor Joy and Lady Lisa, they're very mature. They've come away. They've gone through some stuff. But there's some women that may be watching this that they don't have it in check. They're still coming up this mountain. How do we begin to help them to communicate without the theatrics, without the emotional and the flair and the shaking of the head and twirling of the neck, all of that stuff?
Well, I would say,
and blinking the eyes, rolling the eyes. I don't know what we do. We do all of it.
I would say, just as Joy said, she gave a great breakdown of that. If you're not emotionally stable, it's going to just
But how do we
cause
get
chaos.
there? The question is more of application. How do we get there as women? What
Right.
are some of the things we can do? Yeah.
Right. Well, you first got to start with yourself. If I don't even know how to communicate with myself effectively, I mean, let's be real. We talk to ourselves, and
Yeah,
a lot of times, you have to tell. I mean, emotionally. Think about it. A lot of women, they struggle internally with just being confident about themselves.
Yes.
They're walking depressed people. They're struggling with anxiety. Some, not all, but some. And when you're in those broken places of healing, I don't care if you save or unsaved, it is hard to effectively communicate that way. I mean, because if I go in and I'm this broken woman and I really don't know how to communicate, and then I go in and he tell me, well, I really like your hair short, and I get all flamboyant about why he want my hair short.
Well, first of all, we dating. You're not telling me to cut my hair.
That's
I'm
the
cutting
worst
my hair.
thing.
Yeah, but listen, even in that, you still got to check your emotions.
That's right.
Because as she said, you don't have to own what he wants. That's his preference.
True.
This is me. But if I'm emotionally stable, I don't have to react to that. We react to everything.
But wait now, because and I'm gonna jump on the other side of this and stay on this side, because I'm telling you, there's women out there. You said it based on point of reference. We haven't been taught how to communicate.
Okay.
So we just have this reference of a mother who hollering at my dad all the
Right.
time from across the way, and she don't know how to clearly articulate what she want, what she need, when she wanted, when she needed. And so now I'm this young girl growing up. I'm a woman now, and I'm ready to date. But all my point of reference is being, everybody going crazy. How do we begin to teach women, or what can we say to those women that helps them on this show begin to say, look, wait a minute. You know what? First of all, the way you're communicating, you don't have to communicate like that.
Absolutely. You said it just like that.
But no, you got to help them though, because that's all they know.
But we have to empower ourselves.
Right.
That I want to learn, that I'm defected in or not perfected in, I have to go at that myself too.
But I don't know.
Okay, so then
you can't hold me accountable for something I don't know.
But wait now.
Wait, hold on. When my environment has dictated that that's all I know, that's what I grow up into.
Okay.
That become a part of me.
Okay.
And so if you want me to learn different, then you have to show me different.
Okay, but if you don't reveal to me, it is not my responsibility to come to you and say you need to learn how to communicate.
Agree. But there's women out there who may be, and so I guess based on what Pastor Joy said, we can begin to say, well, wait a minute, if I was communicating like that, maybe my communication has been wrong all along.
Right. So for those women who are looking at this broadcast, and if you're full of drama, because listen,
That's
you
good.
just
Right,
said
right, yeah.
that how do we reach them? We're
Right.
trying to reach you now.
Right.
If you're full of drama, stop it. You're not gonna get married. If you are married, it's rocky. I
It's
bet.
rocky.
Right.
Right.
Stop making him responsible for your
Responsibility.
inadequacy
Right.
internally.
Right.
Speak to yourself. Realize in the moment, in the heat of the moment, who is really talking. Is it anger? Is it fear? Is it bitterness? Is it rejection? Is it rebellion? What are you operating in? It's not love, because through that you're frustrated, you're flaring up, you're upset. Are you unhappy with the marriage? Are you unhappy with your relationship? Are you unhappy with the fact that you finally thought that this was going to be the one, but something happened, a conflict happened, and he's not understanding you? You're complex. You're not easy to understand. You're complicated. You change your hair every now and then. You wear different color makeup. We don't know who you are today.
Yes.
So your girlfriend don't know you, and you want your some of your pastors don't know you.
It's true. But
Pastor
but
Shay.
we have go ahead.
I think a lot of times we communicate out of our expectations
Exactly.
and our perceptions.
That's
Excellent.
good.
And a lot of times we don't realize, even if, like you said, we're full of drama, to us it's normal.
Right.
Right.
That's my point.
We've been doing
That's
this
right.
so
Yes.
long, so it's
Right.
normal. So now you're having this intelligent conversation with the opposite sex, and he's like, okay, so, how's your day? And, why you want to know about? No, wait a minute. Stop and get current into the moment. All we're talking about is how was your day? And I think what happens is we've gotten so used to being with us,
Right.
so we don't see
Say that.
the broken,
That's
the
it.
error, the
That's
ways
it.
that we
True,
articulate in. Because
Right.
the word tells us every man seen right in their own eyes. And there's things,
Absolutely.
that's just how I am.
Right.
But if being just how you are is getting you the results that you enjoy, then why are you frustrated with everyone that comes into your space? So I would say this, as far as if someone, because for myself, I did not know how to submit to a relationship
Right.
because of what I went through. And I really had to get to a place where I was like, okay, I'm doing something wrong, obviously, and I'm not liking my results in this. And I had to learn, first of all, like you said, where is this coming from? Is this coming from a place of hurt?
Right.
Am I speaking out of defense? Because a lot of times we're speaking out of
Yes,
defense,
that's good.
and sometimes we're speaking out of our victim. We're speaking like victims, and not realizing we're still walking in the victim. Sometimes we speak out of a confident, so we have to come current in that moment. And if you've been in the place, it's not the time to get irrational. I'm just not gonna talk to nobody. Then I'm just not. That's not. That's not.
We do that.
Well, I just don't say nothing else then.
Don't ask me.
You're right.
And what happens is, I
Yes.
think what has happened over that course of time, something is that internal
Yes.
dialogue
Right.
Yes.
has become stronger than the
That's
just
good.
one-on-one. And so in your head, he don't understand nothing you're saying. He gonna misunderstand what you're saying. You don't make yourself clear. And so the fear of being misunderstood now cause you to be irrational or overcompensate in your conversations.
Wow. Right.
So just
Wow.
stop. Okay, let's perceive this moment. What does this moment actually require?
Wow. Good stuff.
And then, something, this is just a little clip from Lisa always talks about not suffering in silence. I think sometimes we as women don't always say, I don't know how to communicate. I don't know how to talk to the opposite sex. And if I don't reveal that, we have this spirit of discernment, but it's not my job to discern that you need to learn to communicate to the opposite sex. Now, I could catch it in the communication on a just a broad spectrum. If I see you in the church, I can see some things, and then we'll address those things, but we're only now addressing those things from leadership or maybe training, but we're not seeing the depth of how it affecting you with a outside couple sometimes.
I think that behavior
Yes.
is behavior.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think one of the things, as mature women on my panel, Titus 4 talks about the older women.
Yes,
and so I think
training.
we have a responsibility
Yes, now we
that
do.
when we see our daughters, you see your
That's right.
daughters, all of you guys have over in churches in leadership capacity, that when we see these behaviors, we address them and say,
Yes.
come baby, sit down here. The way I saw you talk to your husband, or the way I saw you talk to that man. Watch this. Way we talk to men in general, not even have to be
Yes.
dating.
Yeah,
That's right.
true.
Just in general, we have a
Yes.
responsibility to help them, help women really come over this place and communicate
That's
better.
good.
You know what I mean? And so that's the point I want to read. And then I want to touch on this just a little bit, because I think we sort of touch on it, but when it comes to conflict, how it is that we communicate. It's like, do we go in, Lady Lisa say, with a perception that we already right? We right anyway, so it doesn't matter what he say. How it is that we communicate when it comes to handling conflict. Because truth be told, they say tongue and teeth will always meet. There will always be some type of a conflict. So I'm going to start with Lady Lisa. All of you guys get to answer this. How we handle conflict. Because I like the perception.
Yeah.
I'm right. He wrong. I don't care what he got to say. He going to hear what I got to say, and that's it. That's what we do.
As I have learned with conflict, resolving conflict and communicating, I have to remember at the end, what is the point of what we're talking about? What's common?
We forget where we started.
Because sometimes you may be having a conflict
Right.
that may not be the conflict with me. So what's the common
True.
conflict?
True.
So I may be arguing over, okay, you didn't pick the kids up. You may be arguing because you didn't cook. So what is the whole contents of
really
this
not-
conversation? And a lot of it is not even based on that. It's something else. So we
Yes,
have to
that's where
come
I'm going.
current
That's
to
good.
be able to resolve conflict. And then as I have matured, because, me and my husband, we will argue for hours, days, weeks on end, and I'm right. And he was right. And we would not come into a place of reconciliation. So now, my goal now, when there's a conflict, my goal is, regardless of, we talked about walking together, how can two walk together unless they agree? We won't agree on everything, but this should not be a deal breaker, or this should not be something that's so detrimental that we're now, at odds forever.
Wow.
But the end goal is now reconciliation.
That should be the
compromise.
Right, the compromise in the end goal. It's true, because let's just be real. When we get in conflict, sometimes it may be that we ask that person to do something for us, right? And they didn't do it. So we're mad about that. But that happened 4 months ago.
That's right.
And so now we'll be really conflicting over with stuff that happened, and so you guys agree we do that as women?
Yeah,
We
I do it
communicate?
often.
It's
We're
true.
being transparent. I do it often.
Yes.
And then I have a tendency, I'm very blunt. I say what I mean what I say. But sometimes, depending on the temperature, depending on what's going on in that moment, if he got to get ready for a sermon or something like that, I may not spring it on him. But normally when I engage in a conversation where I want to converse with my husband, I have had time to think about what I'm going to say. So my husband says women are emotional, men are relational. So my husband has not had time to think about what I'm throwing at him. So I want an answer right
now.
And he said, it's not fair. You already done went through in the mirror what you gonna do. You coming for me. And I'm like, I know with my husband, you gotta pull out the King James. Because he gonna pull a scripture, I remember. Oh, no man, nothing but to love him. Now, what you say you feel like you do what? Hold on, I'll be right there. So I feel like it's a difference when you fighting with a preacher, it's all right. So, but what it is with me, I realized that you're right. My initial start of the conversation was because I got annoyed with something, and it just triggered. I'm just gonna let him have it all at one time.
Right.
Because I felt like I was right. He deserved it. You should have paid more attention to what. And I think, again, it goes back to emotional. It goes back to learn. And at the end of the day, if a young lady have the only type of communication she's heard is her mama and daddy arguing, they feel like it's a normal way to communicate.
Yes.
Well, that's how my mom and daddy did it. We hear it all the time, but doesn't make it right.
But as
Go ahead.
believers, we can't keep defaulting back.
That's right.
Yes,
That's
yes.
right.
And that was one of the struggles that I had coming into, after we, got married and everything. I had this, my mother told me, girl, you don't let no man take care of you. So
Yes.
I had a hard time letting my husband
Yes.
take care of his responsibility. And it was as almost that I was ungrateful. It was as if I was resisting him. But going back to that communication, what have we been taught? And even if, yes, you know, we have this pattern where your mama crazy, your daddy half crazy, and everybody else around you just naturally crazy. We have a source, the Word of God, you know, and we do have to renew our mind.
Yes, we do.
You know, because when I was going through that process, I didn't have a reference point because I did default back to my upbringing.
Right.
But then I realized I'm not in that arena anymore. I'm not in that arena anymore. And I have to learn how to submit to my husband. I have to learn how to see things the way God sees things.
Good.
And it was a fight because to go through what you were normally doing and to now settle with the word is a challenge because now it's like, oh, well, I'm, you know, it's like almost like you're becoming the lesser, the weaker. And it's not that women are weak. And even in going through dating and courtship and going back to what we were talking about, a lot of women feel that if they find themselves vulnerable in certain situations, then a man won't see them as attractive. And if they become too dominant. So we have to, like you said, go back to that place of balance.
Yes.
You know, it has to be a balance. And so none of us know it all.
No.
That's good.
You know, we don't know it all. And even sometimes you may put everything right into a relationship that you believe in. But the way this person perceives it, you can't manage that.
That's true.
You know, you said everything right. You did everything right. You know, and I've talked to women, oh, we were, you know, it was everything. I say, listen, you can cook, clean, sex, and do everything else in between. But if his mind
That's right.
True.
is,
But we tried though, Lady Lisa. We tried to manage that.
we have to
We have to
realize
learn
that
how
we
to
can't
detach.
fix it.
But it's
Yeah.
not our responsibility.
Agreed,
That's
agreed. But we have to be, you know, women have to be taught to listen. You can't you can't manage or control another person's response.
And it's a stigma that we women have grown up. My mother
Black
being
women.
Hispanic, black women, what, you know, you have to train him. You know, my
no.
my grandmother's Caribbean, so she's from Panama. You got to train him up.
Train up a husband.
Train up, yes.
Or somebody you're dating?
No, dating. You have to make sure that they know how things go. But they have their own issues too.
Right.
You're not perfect when you come together.
Right.
You become complete.
Yes.
Right.
You're not perfect. You just become whole. So at the end of the day, they may be going through their own things too. I'm telling you, I'm quick. When I said, okay, Lord, is this my responsibility? Should I take ownership? Because first,
stuff.
when things happen in my relationships, period, I say, okay, where am I responsible in this? Because I'm going to take ownership for my piece. Because I'm the type, I don't want anybody to tell me what is my responsibility. I know what my responsibility is.
good.
So I'll take ownership. If I make a mistake, if I upset, if I was wrong, I have a tendency to apologize first, whether I want to or not.
True.
And then there are some situations to where God say, no, I'm working on that.
Wow.
That's not your responsibility to take.
That's good stuff.
Doesn't stop me from apologizing though.
That's good. That's good. Sandra?
Conflict?
Yeah, conflict from a therapist perspective. How do you help me resolve conflict with all of the emotions going on without the emotions in theater?
Well, one of the first things that we say in therapy is that what are you processing your thoughts?
Okay.
Are you recapping what you said, what you've done, what took place?
I planned it. I rehearsed it.
Okay.
See?
Yeah, and that's the part of the problem.
I'm
Is
just
that
like-
She tapped in. I was like, oh.
Step one.
But I know I can say from a transparent perspective as a therapist and just who I am on an everyday basis, I have to be so careful because with my husband, he's not, I won't say like a sensitive man, but he's very sensitive to my words. I mean, and those, my words affect him. And so when I come with my conflict, because I come with it, we don't want to say we bring it, but yes, we do. We bring conflict sometimes, and I come with it, and he.
You look like you're coming now.
She comes with it.
And, and I have to be careful. Okay, what I'm going to say to him, going to shut him down for the next 4 days.
Wow.
And I have to do that quite often because my husband is not a very voiceful man. When he speaks, he speaks. I mean, but he's not just all that. God is so good, yes. Yeah. But he will go there with me, but that's not his nature to go there with me. He doesn't do that.
Oh, my.
And so I usually am the one that start the conflict in our home.
Oh, Lord.
And I do, and I have, but sometimes conflict is good.
Needed. Some conflict is
Some
needed.
things have to be confronted, but I have to do it respectfully.
Yes.
And I have to be bold about it and
Yes.
not passive aggressive and talking all around the circle, causing him to be delayed for days. Just
That's
tell
good.
him. Tell him,
True.
babe, I really need you to, take the trash out. I can't be doing this every day. Stuff like that causes conflict. But if I say it directly,
I ain't taking out no trash.
instead of just like, I don't understand why nobody don't take the trash out around here. What's the problem? And blah, blah,
Right.
blah. No, babe, I really need you to take the trash out.
Just be direct. Man
Yes.
wants to be direct. On the last show, we called no name. He said, whenever if you see a guy that's very talkative, very, very talkative, and it can stay up with you,
Ain't it?
he said something wrong with him.
Something wrong.
He's
He
unbalanced.
old man. He old
Yeah.
man.
It's
Something wrong.
unbalanced.
It's unbalanced. Yeah, that's the way to put it. See, I got a therapist on the show. It's unbalanced. It's unbalanced. We're gonna touch on two other areas as we begin to wrap up today's show. So we talked about we're building our list. Value,
Confidence.
confidence,
Communication.
communication, and love.
Love.
Women desire. The Bible even said, "Husband
Yes,
loves your
love
wife,
your wife.
wife submit." Love, submit. So, how can man do a good job? I'm going to say it this way: at showing that they love us while dating. What are some of the things they can do outside of intimacy? Because we know as Christian women, this Christian dating, there ain't no sex in it. There ain't none of that stuff. That's wrong. That's just biblically wrong. We're not touching that. But what's some of the things that they can do to show us that they love us while dating?
I personally think if a man can love you unconditionally, like you said, without being sexually involved, just knowing your weaknesses, but having that stamina to withstand, okay, she's having her moment. Not saying that you continue to abuse that, but for me, I find that if you can accept me flaws and all,
That's good.
then I don't
That's
have
good.
to put on any airs. I don't have to pretend to be anything. I don't have to meet your ex-girlfriends or your last date potentials, expectations or any of that. Just us being us and letting the relationship organically take place.
That's good.
Because I think sometimes we try to force things,
Yes.
and then like you say, you're trying to now be the husband without the husband. You're trying to tell me how wear my hair. No, let me just organically be, and we fuse together. And then it evolves. Relationships should evolve, never should be
Yes.
forced.
That's right.
That's
Exactly.
good. So
Right.
that's the observation. That
Yes.
it just
Observation.
unfold.
Let it unfold.
Pastor Joy.
One thing I know when my husband and I were dating, he just let me be me. That's one thing that was very important to me. Don't try to change me. Although the me that was
Needed some changing.
17 years ago,
Yes. Yes.
because we've been married for 18 years,
Yes.
it is not the me that
Today.
he married. I am a whole different person.
Yes.
And those who knew me. And that's what she said. It evolves. So his love didn't change for me because the woman changed. It evolved. It grew with me. It became organic. And it didn't rot because the foundation was good.
Wow.
This is important. What are you, because if it's not built on sex, that's a great thing.
That's true.
I can always reflect my foundation and my relationship with Pastor Brown was built on Jesus.
That's good.
We were believers. We studied. We prayed together. He saw me struggle. I saw him struggle. We struggled together. So that our immediate go-to is not sex. It's God.
That's good.
You're the one that built this. I didn't take him from nobody. I didn't do anything. I didn't manipulate the situation to get him. Lord, you said you said that this was my husband. You assigned me. This is all of this. So I'm coming back to you. And even as we evolved it in love, I remember being able to be Christians, but still laugh, still enjoy yourself. You don't have to be uptight all the time. God, God is watching us. Yes, he is. And he's saying laughter is good for the soul.
Break out a
Break
little
out a little bit.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes.
It's all right to laugh.
Don't be too deep.
You're just so deep.
Oh, that's
It's okay. Because then you begin to see the real you.
That's
you begin
right.
to, the layers begin to be exposed. Because again, when you're engaging with someone, you tend to put up airs.
Yes.
That's true.
Let
The
him
best.
see you without your weave.
Shonda.
Without makeup. Sometimes without eyelashes. I woke up like this. The real woke up
real
like
wake
this. You answered though, hey, how you doing?
Woo!
Well, this is it,
It ain't get no better than
And
this.
then for him to say, Joy, you're still beautiful. Oh, he loved me. There's certain things that women look for.
Yes,
they
that's
do.
true.
You having an ugly day. You're really beautiful today. Oh my God. I don't tell them, but in my spirit, I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. Go ahead.
But we have to also, single women, dating women, Christian women, have to also be careful that they don't take the validation from a master manipulator.
Yes.
Because I see so many women,
Come on.
they put their guards down because they give this guy, I just need a man my next husband, God told me, and you telling this man, and so he become the
Exactly what
master
you were saying.
manipulator.
Wow.
And he's gonna fit into this characteristic that that the script. And I was just talking to a woman the other day, going through how did you guys meet? Oh, we met, and I talked to him on the phone the first time, and I told him you was a man of God. Well, let him display some man of God characteristics, because his voice he may have a scriptural dictating voice, but you need to hear some substance behind this.
Yes.
And one of the things that we have to be careful about, also Christian women, single women, is not letting people match make.
Yes.
That when I wasn't don't match make me, because in that you feel obligated to a relationship that may not ever go anywhere. Oh, I have a friend for you. Well, he's your friend. He may not be my type. Well, yeah, I know you're lonely. And I see a lot of women feeling obligated in the church because, oh, girl, I got a friend, he's single. But why is he single? Like, what's really going on with him?
That's my first question.
And there's something, why, and don't get me wrong. I've had people say we met on certain websites and it was a hit and it was fine. I personally don't want that, because the website is discerning for me. My friends are discerning for me, and I may miss something. What may be valuable on my list may be overlooked now because I'm feeling obligated to my friend who he's a good, and I see that a lot. And women are getting so damaged and devastated because of they're believing somebody else's discernment for something that may not even be, or y'all look cute together. Now we feel obligated
To stay looking cute together.
together.
Don't belong together.
It don't belong together.
Wow, that's
so
dangerous.
I've seen
That's
that
dangerous.
so much,
Wow.
and as Christian women, we have to have a true level of discernment.
That's good.
Not living off of cliches, because I think we've lived off of cliches so long till we think that the cliche is going to keep us in crisis, and it's not. We have to have, like you said, we have to have something in us that says, no,
exactly.
this is not God for me. This is not.
If you're unsure, take them to somebody of accountability, like your pastor and leaders.
But like she said, as far as the cliches, a lot of y'all ain't getting no Boaz because y'all not Ruth. You know what I'm saying? Ruth, when Boaz found Ruth, she was working.
She was working, not getting
She wasn't
looking for Boaz. She was
gleaning.
gleaning. And it wasn't even her own stuff.
Yes.
Gleaning is to take what was already left.
Yes.
See, that's the thing now.
Ooh.
Are you going to take what's already left? That may not be on your list.
Leftovers.
The gleaning, yes. That he may
That
not
was looked
be
over.
5'6".
But it was intentionally.
It was
dropped off.
intentionally dropped.
Lord, Jesus.
But because you're so
Shonda,
on your list and you can't see beyond that,
I might miss the drop.
you might miss the drop.
Father, let the drop be right. Let the drop be right.
Not only that, it's a strategy. I
Yeah.
don't know if any strategist is telling people, what the strategy is.
Right.
Oh, the Lord told me you're a man of God. Well, just laid it out right there. That's what you're looking for. Oh, yeah, I am a man of God. No.
Yeah.
Stop. Be slow to speak. We're so quick
Yeah.
to speak. No, listen more. Because the Lord is speaking all the time. And because you're so blinded by your loneliness, you're blinded by your own lust.
Or the desire for
companionship because
Right.
all your friends get married.
Right.
And everybody else around you is in company with someone that you're like, it puts like a rush on it, but it's desperation is a killer.
I think married Christian women need to stop lying to single Christian women as well.
Go ahead. Touch it.
I see a lot of married women lying about their time of waiting. Oh, I waited and God said,
Lying.
No. This man was in a locked and loaded relationship and you sabotaged, you sprinkled something, you grabbed something, you
That's
pulled
right.
something, you did something.
That's right.
And then manipulated this man out of something that he was in.
My God.
A lot of these Christian women are lying about keeping their virtue while they
Until
were
they got-
waiting. They are lying.
They slept with him.
They done slept with him and slept with him and him and him. And, so I honestly feel that this is a big deception.
Yes.
Because the Christian women who are married have not really and been truthful
Come on.
to those who
That's right.
really want to be
That's
married.
right.
That's right.
You're married and you're not telling these women, dang, I gotta take care of him. I'm
Thank
doing
you.
everything.
Thank you.
I dress him.
Yes.
Reason why he look good because I make sure he look good because he just skid row. So I think what has happened.
That's good.
We have
masked
masked
yeah.
what it is to really be in a relationship, to be in courtship. I see women. Oh, I just sat and I was waiting and he came by.
lying.
No, you had your left foot here, your left foot
Come
here,
on
and you
now,
had
that's
everything
good,
else
that's
out of place. Stop with this. You did not keep yourself. You went on all these dates with this man for him to pay your bill, and now you want to give the Christ card. Oh, now we got to get married because of my conviction of Christ. And a lot of these men are falling victims just like the women are falling victims.
Yes.
And I see it all the time. Even in our church, well, before you get with me, you got to go see the apostle. Well, you done gave this man a script.
Yes.
So when he
comes,
sit in apostle's office, this is what you say if apostles say this. This is don't say this. Now don't say that because he's going to ask you that blah blah blah. Dad, here he is. And then when you ask the questions and my husband say, daughter, this is this is that, and then blah blah blah. So we're fooling ourselves.
Good point.
We
Very
can't
good
say
point.
we want accountability.
Wow.
And then rebel
and then really
against
don't
it.
want.
Yeah.
As married women, we can't give these women these false illusions that, oh yeah, God told me and I just, he told. No, give us the real what happened.
Thank you.
Give us the real what happened.
And not only
Jesus.
that, what
Help us.
happens when things change within the dynamics of the marriage?
Thank you.
For instance, when I got married, my husband was the breadwinner. It was it. Things have changed. He is now full-time pastoring. I'm in the marketplaces. So the roles have changed a bit as far as the financial responsibilities. Does that make him less than? No, it doesn't. Does it change the dynamics of how things are done? Yes. So some women need to understand, and I'm speaking from those from a professional standpoint, who have careers, who are at the top of their game, and they have someone that come in that's a little less than they feel than them. Oh, he don't have that level. Do you really want somebody at the same level? Do you really? You got to assess that. Do you really? Yes, you want someone to bring something to the table, but what if he is going to be a good father? What if when you are working, you don't ever have to worry about who's going to pick up the kids, who's going to do this. When I go out of town, I never have to worry about who's going to care for my kids because my husband does an awesome job doing it.
Right.
It relieves so much stress. I don't want him making $100,000, $200,000. Yes, I would love it, but it's not on the top of the list because my sanity of having my kids, other things, it balances out.
That's good stuff.
Does it balance
You
out?
got to jump in here. We're out of time. And listen, while you're wrapping up this one final question we have to ask, and I gotta ask this on camera, and that is, what are some of the things men do, subtly do, that irritates us while dating as women? So I want you to touch on. I want you to touch on this real quick because you're so, you gotta jump in there. Why don't you go ahead and answer that, Cassandra? Answer that. I wanted you to go back to the other question, but I think they nailed it. Let's hit this.
Sorry, Cassandra.
No, that's good. That's good. Still learning. I believe some things that they do is, subtly try to make us responsible for, the date. I don't have a problem paying for my own meal and caring for myself. I really don't. But I have a problem dating someone who doesn't take responsibility for dating back. I'm not just dating myself.
Girl.
He's dating me. And
Right.
I need to know that he's, he can handle a $10 check. It doesn't matter what it is, or just small things. Now, he may not have to open doors for you, but just can he open a door? Can he pick me up in his own car?
Hallelujah.
Simple things. Those things are big, but they may be petty to others, but those things are important. And Joy said something that was so good. She was like, is he a good father? It's simple things. Does he even talk about children?
Yes.
Women love children. Don't tell me you
Yes.
don't. If you don't, it's probably something medically wrong. But women love children. They do. I mean, most times. And so it's the little things that I think we have to look for
It's true.
when we're in the process of dating.
Okay, so the little things. What else
Yeah.
do they do that just irk us? Like, there gotta be some stuff that just
devalue our
don't do that.
conversations.
Like, you tell your daughter,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I think sometimes we got to men will devalue your conversation depending on what you want to talk about.
Okay.
Sometimes conversations, maybe he wanted to be about what he wanted to be about. Wow, I just came up. And I mean, those are some of the things, but it was something that was said the first time that was so good, and Lady Lisa said it. She said, we as Christian women don't talk about what we did before dating, but I do declare and decree that Pastor Merritt and I, we share our story because we did commit some sexual sin before actually going into a purified marriage state, and we had to get those things right before we just ran into the pastor's office and asked for, now can we get married? No, we knew, and if I had to, and Pastor will tell y'all this, I had to go back to my own standards and say, wait a minute, how am I living in this? What am I wanting from this? What fruit am I going to get from this? Because even though we came together and we married, oh my God, we still got fruit that we're dealing with.
Wow.
The effect of doing that
Jesus.
illicit sexual
This is real.
relationship. I mean, we're battling even now with things that we should not have done. So don't be deceived. It will come back, and we do have to be honest. So she is so right. We tell everyone that we counsel, no, it wasn't that deep. No, we wasn't all in deep fasting and praying. We just went into this relationship, I mean, he met my standards, as you say, my mental list. He had a great job. I bless the Lord for it. I mean, he saved his money. He was a wise man, but there was places in him that I did not like, and there was things in me he did not like. But we both knew the word, but we both were carnal, living outside of God's promises and best for us. But when we got it right, we got it right. And we tell others, no, you can't live like this and think that it's not going to be a reaping.
It's a penalty.
So even when you get married, you better get back into prayer,
a
because it
penalty.
will be a reaping of what you've sown before.
Jesus.
So when sex is not actively operating, ask yourself, what did you rob from the season of marriage that should have been there?
Because
That's
you
true.
did it before.
Yes, because
true.
you did it before.
That's some good stuff
good.
right there.
So,
Wow.
bless his
wow.
name.
Bless
Yes,
his name.
yes.
About to have church. Turn to Psalms 139. Let's go. I'm just playing. Listen,
but
guys.
yes,
Wow.
yes.
Amazing, amazing. As we close out the show, I need you guys, and listen, you guys get seconds. You don't have minutes. Seconds. Seconds.
You go last.
I'm going
Seconds. Seconds.
Okay.
You're going to look in the camera and listen. I want you to speak to single women, because there's some women in waiting.
Okay.
We all have drama. You guys dealt with it. We dealt with so much today. Communication, love, all of the above, emotions, all that crazy stuff as women we deal with. But actually, I changed that. Talk to the single men out there who's looking for women, who's looking for wives. They're looking for wives. But they've run into so many women that is just full of drama and just makes it hard to date. Just makes it hard to really want to be with them. What would you say to them to say, you know what? Not all of us crazy. There's some women out there that still clothed in their right mind. Talk to that camera for me, please. We're back? Good. Listen, as we get ready to wrap up the show, I wanna touch on one final question. I need you guys to be really, really quick. Okay? And that question is, we were talking about in one of the breaks, the long extended breaks, about how it is that sometimes we are so enclosed. We go to work, church, and that's it. We're not putting ourselves out there for people to even be found. Let's talk about that really quick, Lady Lisa.
Like I was saying during our break, we cannot get frustrated when all we have is a circle of church and work.
Right.
We have to be able to put ourselves out there. And so what happens is a lot of single people have become socially incompetent and not knowing how to interact in the dating world, but they're spiritually equipped. Mm-hmm. So we have to be careful that we have a balance.
That's good.
Don't be afraid to cross-connect. Find out what the other churches are doing. Some of my church members went to Unwed at CFM. My first question, did you see someone that you... Okay, but no. But go ahead and do not be socially awkward. Understand that everybody you meet may not be in the church. Mm-hmm. And it's okay.
That's right.
Ask God to open up your understanding to different opportunities to meet your husband or wife. It may not just be in the church. It may be on ChristianMingle.com.
You can't isolate
Don't
and look
isolate
for a mate.
and know Hannah Mashandas when you first meet them. Inside, voices only. Yes.
Shabba, go ahead.
I think you should be active. Get out, do things, explore, go places, entertain yourself, go to games, basketball games, football games. That's where men are. They are there in those places. Get out, because if you explore different activities, other than just the church or home, you'll meet different people, and preferably guys. And for the women, you can do some of the same things, because they're guys and men do different activities, but guys are activity driven. They like football, they like games, they like sports. Get out there. Look cute. You may not have to play football, just put on a jersey and cheer for the team.
No bonnets.
Exactly.
Amen. No bonnets. No bonnets. I was about to make a
And
joke,
long
but I'm
dresses.
just gonna keep long dresses.
No,
speaking
no
in tongues.
long dresses.
That's a good
just
point,
men
because a
wear.
lot of time we go to work, we have the careers, we're solid there, we're solid in church,
Yes.
and we go home, and that's it.
That's
We don't
it.
even, there's no social, so even that's an imbalance for
Right.
single women. So we want to get balance. So yeah, I think I'm gonna buy some buck tickets and some to get out, just get out. I'm
Enjoy
gonna do
yourself.
that.
Love on
Enjoy them.
yourself.
Yes.
Because when you start loving on yourself, it'll be easy to come into a relationship with other people, even if it's just to communicate.
That's good. That's good. It may not even lead to dating.
Right.
Yeah.
Have that
Absolutely.
social.
Go to venues, go to places that you like. because you're going to meet people
Right.
there that share your interests.
It's good.
Painting,
Yes.
art, museums, parks.
The grocery store.
Yes.
I do that, but you know.
Not just the grocery store.
Right.
Whole Foods.
Oh.
Ooh,
Elevate
different.
your thinking.
And come up the
Not
Whole
save up.
Foods.
Yes.
Go to Whole Foods.
Whole Foods.
Join
You gotta have money to go to Whole Foods.
Join the
Trader
gym.
Joe's.
This is good stuff. Listen, guys, as we bring this show to a close, wow, it's been an amazing show. These women of God has done a tremendous job in this dialogue as we talked about women disposition and dating. Listen, guys, as we close, talk to singles. I need each one of you to literally take like 5 seconds and begin to talk to singles. Whatever comes up out of your spirit, look into that camera and just talk to singles.
Singles, we have to be very careful in this time and age that we don't allow anxieties to dictate how we navigate any relationship. And so just being confident in yourself and understanding your value and understanding God's will and timing for you.
Divorce everything you know about dating. Start from scratch after you've listened to this broadcast. Do it again. Go in with a different perspective now. Now that you have the tools, you can't say that you don't know now. We've invested in those that have come before us. We're giving you the tools that you need to get booed up.
That's good stuff.
And from a therapeutic standpoint, this is the place where new beginnings begin. You can start again. This is a new way to date. So we've given you powerful information, and I just encourage you, know who you are, and dating will be easy.
Wow, that almost sounded like a commercial.
I did.
You're trying to sell your
personal
counseling
thing,
center or
yeah.
something.
Okay.
Get a free commercial on my show. Listen, guys, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Once again, amen to Lady Lisa, Pastor Joy,
Bless you.
and Pastor Cassandra. Thank you guys for coming on the Let's Talk Show and being transparent, playful, fun, energetic, full of life. It's been awesome sauce. Yes. It's been extremely good. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Guys, listen, thank you for tuning in. That's all we have for today. Until next time, always put God first and all else will follow. Bye now.
We want to thank you for watching today's show. If you'd like to request a copy of today's show, please contact us at area code 813-971-5372. We would love to hear from you. Drop us a line at letstalkshow@verizon.net or subscribe to our Facebook page and leave a comment. If you feel this show has been a blessing to you and would like to assist in keeping this show on the air, you can make your donations via PayPal or mail your checks to the address on the screen. Please tune in to next week's show. And as always, if you want to talk about it, let's talk.
If there's something on your mind.